My mom fell very sick. Like she just could not move at all. And it was like a medical emergency. Luckily, we had an Infinia card which also offers concierge services.
Right.
So I just called them up and said that, you know what, my parents are stranded in Indore. And we need like some sort of I have this many points with me. I need some facility, either like, you know, you guys help with bringing an ambulance or whatever it is, because that's how like non-accessible the place was.
Okay.
And they said, we'll help you airlift your mom.
Hi friends, welcome to the 4th episode of Credit Cards सही है। आज की हमारी गेस्ट एक किस्सा सुनाएंगी हमें क्रेडिट कार्ड के ऐसे बेनिफिट का जो आपने शायद पहले कभी ना सुना होगा और शायद सोचा भी नहीं होगा कि आप ऐसा बेनिफिट क्रेडिट कार्ड से उठा सकते हैं। साथ ही वो हमें ये भी बताएंगी कि बैंक्स किस स्ट्रैटेजी से किस टाइप के लोगों के लिए कैसे कार्ड्स डिजाइन करते हैं और उन्हें लॉन्च करते हैं। तो चलिए मिलते हैं कोमोलिका से। I have a very interesting guest with me today. So Komalika has been part of the team that designed one of the most used credit cards in India, which is Flipkart Axis Bank card. We're going to have an amazing discussion with her around how banks go about designing cards and other stuff. So let's get started. Hi Komalika, thank you
Hi.
so much for agreeing to be a part of this.
Thank
Lovely
you for
meeting
inviting me over here, and it's really great to actually finally get to see the behind the scenes of what you guys are doing. So
Thank
very
you so
interesting.
Much. Thank you so much. So would you like to share a bit about what you do and your past experiences as well?
Sure. So I started working back in 2012
Okay.
when fintech was not really a cool term.
Okay.
And I've always somehow managed to be in the finance tech space throughout my career.
Okay.
Been a part of a bunch of very interesting journey, some of which was in designing those campaigns that, you know, kind of target people who are credit card users or new to credit customers and stuff like that to come onto the credit ecosystem.
Right.
Been also built a bunch of interesting fintech products that I hope people use on a day-to-day basis, like UPI,
Oh,
account
wow.
aggregator.
Nice.
And now I'm building another platform that I hope becomes, you know, something that everyone uses, which is a digital platform for women to take charge of their finances.
Oh wow. And what's that called?
It's called Lakshmi, spelled as LXME, so it's like a play of words.
Okay.
And it just basically is to make every woman, you know, the goddess of wealth.
That's super interesting and more so because okay, so I have experience with credit cards a lot. I talk to a lot of people, card holders, and I know for a fact that women are way less interested in
yes.
credit cards than
Oh,
men
yes.
are.
Absolutely.
So do you have some insights to share on that? Why it is like that?
So you're right.
Yeah.
Inherently, women think anything that I borrow from anyone else,
Yeah.
that's an obligation, and they're going to treat it very, very differently.
Okay.
But I think I've been privileged because I come from like, I keep telling this to everyone I meet. I literally won the parent lottery, the family lottery.
Okay.
Because like right from when I was a kid, people have been, my grandfather and my father, they've all been teaching me about good financial you know, sense from
Okay.
when I was a kid.
Okay.
And I still remember when I got my first job and they were offering me a credit card along with my salary account. The first thing I did was call up my dad and ask him, Dad, they're telling me credit card. Now, my dad is someone who's been using credit cards since 97 when they were launched by Citibank.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
he's like one of the OG credit card users and he
Right.
knows exactly what to do and what not to do.
Okay.
So while on one side, my grandfather was like blasting his son, like, why would you give your daughter access to credit cards? It's bad and this and that. And my dad is like, listen, go for it. I'll tell you what you shouldn't do. And as long as you don't do these things, you'll be fine.
Oh wow, wow. Maybe we should have invited your dad too. Does
Oh,
he live in
absolutely.
Mumbai?
They're unfortunately traveling.
Okay.
But yes, once they're settled back and, you know, kind of they found their roots, definitely.
Great. So, what were some of the things that he told you what to do and not to do with credit cards?
Oh, so the first thing he told me is whatever your bill is,
Yeah.
the first thing he told me was never spend more than what your salary is. So if
Okay.
you're getting like 50,000 a month,
Yeah.
do not spend more than 40. That was like his upper limit.
Okay.
And then the next thing he told me is whatever the amount comes up,
Okay.
pay the full amount and before your due date. Do not wait.
Okay.
So that was like the second thing he told me.
Yeah.
The third thing he kind of made me realize was about, you know, the interest that you'd be earning because of those 45 days credit period.
Yeah, yeah.
Because till then I was like, I already have a debit card. Why do I need another card?
Right.
So I think these three were like really important things that he told me. Of course, there were a bunch of other things like, you know, you use your debit card to pull out money from the ATM. You don't use your credit card for it and, you know, basic stuff like that.
Okay.
So yes.
Oh, nice. And you've been following all those advices till date?
Absolutely. And then I've learned a few others also along the way, simply because I was a part of the credit card team back at Axis Bank. So
Right.
yeah.
Interesting. Great. So now let's go to your Axis Bank stint. I think that is something most people would be a lot interested in. Although amazing insights around why women are averse to credit cards and how you have been so using them so well. So what exactly did you do at Axis Bank to begin with?
So I was a part of the payments and cards analytics team.
Okay.
And the business and the analytics team at Axis work very closely.
Okay.
Wherein every new product or feature or even a reward that has to go out to the customer, it's extremely like data driven. Everything is like basis whatever, the analytics team kind of puts out to the business teams to further get a sense of what the customers want and then give it to the market types.
Okay.
So I was in charge of building the entire loyalty program out for the bank and for the cards, as well as running a lot of these campaigns that were there for our credit card business.
Campaigns like?
So one of them, and that's where I kind of realized, how no cost EMI is not really no cost for the end customers.
Okay. When was this? When were you working at Axis
So
Bank?
this was from 2018 till 21.
Okay.
So like pre-COVID and the peak of COVID kind
Right.
of the period where there was like credit cards was still considered to be something that's more of an affluent market sort of a thing.
Right.
But in COVID we saw a lot of these BNPL cards coming out
Right.
and credit cards also trying to compete with them.
Right.
So it kind of became a lot more. It wasn't that much more gated in a way.
So you worked at Axis from 18 to 21 and you were mostly responsible for data analytics and helping bank make better decisions using data.
Yes.
That's what I get. Okay, great. So you told me earlier that you were responsible for designing the Flipkart Axis Bank
Yep.
credit card. Want to hear that story? How did all of that happen?
Oh, so that was actually a very interesting proposition because unlike what we see for a lot of the other credit card portfolios at Axis Bank, where it was predominantly internally driven,
Right.
where we were doing all the data analysis, building out the personas, figuring out where is it that they're spending, what other kinds of, from the credit bureau, what are the kinds of credit limits, and so by that kind of cards that they have, and then
Right.
doing like a competitor analysis and figuring out what all is happening on that site.
Right.
The Flipkart Axis Bank card was actually something that was from the other side that came in for us.
So Flipkart designed the card, whatever they wanted in the card?
Flipkart actually put out like a proposal to most other credit card issuers
Okay.
that they wanted to build a loyalty program for their customers by
Okay.
offering them a credit card.
Okay. So what were the sort of the exact instructions that they gave to all of these banking partners?
So one of the things that they did say is, one, it has to be something that gives. They told us that the personas that they have love cashbacks.
Okay.
So it has to be something that gives a lot of cashbacks.
Okay.
They wanted to make sure that the cashbacks on their platforms was something that's actually pulling people to use the to be more active on their
On their
platform over
platform,
there.
okay.
And this was also because I think somewhere they were kind of savvy enough to know that BNPL as a market may not be that regulated
Okay.
as, say, a bank issued credit card. So they also wanted to kind of, lay out their eggs in multiple baskets so that if
Okay.
one goes down, they're not stuck over there.
So they wanted to do BNPL as well.
So yeah, so
Okay.
that's where we were also designing. We were making sure that we also have like an EMI on the card spends coming in as well.
Okay.
So
So both of it were bundled together in one product.
so
the EMI thing.
EMI was actually a post-transaction sort of a thing.
Acha. Okay.
Whereas the cashbacks on the spends, yes, that was something that they were very adamant about having, like that kind of a cashback present in their system.
So did they also share the exact amount of cashback that they wanted to give to their users, or that was something the bank had to come
So
to, come
that
with?
was where so the cashbacks is something that the banks kind of came up with. So I think
Okay.
the other bidders who were there were not giving anything more than 2 or 3%.
I see.
Whereas at Axis Bank, we bid very aggressively and
Okay.
gave like a 5% cashback on Flipkart.
Okay.
And on the partner brands, you had like a 4% cashback, and on all other online spends, you'd get a 1.5% cashback.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that was like the proposition that we went back to them because it kind of made sense that you'd have a Flipkart card, so
Right.
you'd be kind of that suave factor would also be there,
Right.
and you're getting cashback, so your customers are always thanking you for giving you the card, because most of these customers, till then, Axis Bank would only source customers who were existing to bank.
I see.
New
Okay.
to bank, unless and until they already had an existing credit card
From some other
relationship
bank.
with some other bank.
I see.
Exactly.
Right.
And that too, they'd make sure that they're the high-end customers, not like the entry-level credit card. So a lot of things were
Oh,
there
I
at
see.
Axis Bank at that point in time.
Till then, if someone did not have a card either from Axis Bank or another bank, Axis Bank was not issuing a card to that user.
Oh, so there's a very funny story behind this as
Okay.
well. They would, but only if it was a secured credit card.
And that from Axis or any bank?
From Axis.
Okay.
So it so happened that there was this one lady who was new to credit card.
Huh.
She was obviously a high net worth individual.
Okay.
And she said that, okay, you're not going to give me a credit card. What do I need to get a credit card? So the bank RM then said that, ma'am, you can set up a security deposit of like, a fixed deposit of X amount.
Right.
And we'll give you like a 50% credit card. She's like, okay, I'm ready to write out a check of 1 crore. Will you give me a 50 lakh credit card? And that fellow was literally stumped because the max limit on the secured credit card was 1 lakh.
Okay.
So he didn't know what to do. So there have been funny instances like that as well at the bank.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So, so Axis Bank gave Flipkart whatever the best cashbacks they could give across certain categories,
Yeah.
and you bid better than all other issuers. So Axis Bank won the contract.
Yep.
Okay. So Komalika, you said, and we're all aware that back in the day, Axis Bank was ranked way below in terms of market share.
Yeah.
When HDFC and SBI were winning the market, and ICICI was following, and Axis Bank was way below. That's when you were working there,
Yep.
right? So what was the strategy? What did they do to from there to now be in the top 3 issuers in the country?
So I think somewhere also the corporate structure changed for us.
Okay.
We had Amitabh Chaudhary coming in, Shikha Sharma leaving the company, and all
Okay.
of that happening. So the focus kind of moved away from it had to be a sustainable market acquisition. You can't just chase the market anymore.
Right.
So one of the things that they did was they did a good segmentation to figure out where can we get top spenders from.
Okay.
And we figured that top spenders are, the usual people, people like you technically,
Right.
who can spend a lot, are earning quite a lot, have like good assets at the back end as well,
Right.
and won't mind paying upfront like a fees for their card, provided they're getting at least 2x of the benefits on whatever they're paying over there.
Okay.
So that's where, a lot of our cards and loyalty programs started being designed, wherein you'll have like an upfront, say, 1,500 rupees fees, but the benefits you get upon the 90 days milestone achievement of your spends
Right.
is going to be at least 3x of what you paid.
Okay.
So if your joining fees was say 500 rupees, if you cross that, I think it was when I was designing it, it was around 1 lakh in 90 days. If you
Okay.
reach that benefit, then you get 1,500 worth of reward
So
points.
Okay, so if you paid 500 fee and spent 1 lakh rupees in the first 90 days,
Yeah.
you'll get at least 1,500
At
back. That
least,
was what
yes.
Axis Bank was planning.
Yes.
Okay, go
So
on.
and a lot of those partnerships for those loyalty programs as well.
Yeah.
We again went back and saw the data. Where is it that customers are spending the most? Where is it that they're redeeming most of their points for?
Okay.
And drilled into those sort of partnerships. So
Okay.
it was kind of, win-win, because yes, we were getting a lot more active spenders on the card.
Right.
And they were also finding value in the card, because at the end of the 90 days, of course, you have like a 90-day wait period, but
Right.
at the end of it, you get some vouchers or coupon that you feel happy about using.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that's very interesting. And I'm sure launching a co-branded card with Flipkart definitely helped a lot.
Oh yes, absolutely.
It has become one of the most issued cards in the country, along with the Amazon Pay ICICI card.
So that was also very interesting play over there, because there we realized that, okay, we've cracked like the top segment. We
Right.
have a good middle segment command,
Right.
but the bottom segment is somewhere where we have no presence. And
Okay.
there were new banks like Federal and all of them coming up with free lifetime credit cards, and we were simply not okay with that.
Okay.
So the Flipkart was a win-win for us, because Flipkart was giving us a base of new to credit, new to the bank customer base
Right.
that have been frequently transacting with Flipkart. So we knew that we had a comfort level that these guys are repeat purchasers. They're going to come back again and again. They can clear their dues if there
Right.
are any.
Right.
So that was, I think, a great acquisition strategy for Axis as well. with that. And of course, the benefits that were there, you know, you had a 5% cashback on every Flipkart spend or every Myntra spend that you do.
Right.
You had 4% on partner brands as well.
Right.
And 1.5% cashback on every other online spends.
Right.
I think that was, I think, a great pull as well for user segments, especially the young, low end of the band customers.
Right, and it shows that it worked. Axis
Yeah.
Bank is now in the top three issuers. What is the strategy for them going forward? So as we see, they have been issuing some really amazing affluent cards.
Yeah.
Some of them being Reserve and Atlas,
Atlas,
and
Magnus
the
or
likes,
something,
right? Magnus, I don't like talking about it too much now. For me, it's dead. Anyway, but yeah, what's the strategy going forward?
I think the strategy, like right from when they decided to acquire Citibank, was quite obvious.
Right.
They want to be a card for the affluent Indians.
Right.
Like they want to be something that the young Indian also aspires towards. So
Okay.
a lot of the even if you see the lounge accesses or the the other benefits of it, they're very curated towards what the next gen would actually want to be a part of.
I see, and that ties so well into why Axis Bank cards provide so many air miles, whereas
Yes.
other banks are not so much into it.
Yes.
Oh, understood. Very, very interesting. Nice, nice.
Like if you go and ask a Gen Z,
Yeah.
would you want to travel in an Indigo versus would you want to travel in a Vistara? They would obviously choose a Vistara.
Exactly.
And you have like a Club Vistara card on Axis as well if you are a frequent flyer.
Right.
So those sort of positioning is, I think, what they want to do, where they're targeting, of course, the top, the cream of the cream. Everyone wants them.
Right.
And they're also targeting the aspirational class that wants to become the cream of the cream.
Right.
So they would have that brag value. They wouldn't mind paying that 500,000 rupees as a joining fee.
Right.
Just because they're getting those added benefits over, someone else, one of their friends was traveling with them.
Right, right. Very interesting. So now we've talked a lot about about the business side of it, how banks design cards, how Axis Bank has gone about becoming a leader now. Want to talk about you now personally as a card user. So any unique experiences you've had with credit cards?
I don't know if it's unique or not, but so there was this one time where my parents, they'd gone for a tour, they'd gone on a Tirth Yatra to
Okay.
like a bunch of these religious places, and my mom fell very sick. Like
Okay.
she just could not move at all, and it was like a medical emergency. Luckily, we had an Infinia card which also offers concierge services.
Right.
So I just called them up and said that, you know what, my parents are stranded in Indore and we need like some sort of I have this many points with me. I need some facility, either like, you guys help with bringing an ambulance or whatever it is, because that's how like non-accessible the place was.
Okay.
And they said, we'll help you airlift your mom.
Oh, wow.
And
she's better now though, right?
Yeah, she
okay.
is. Thankfully, I think, all the darshan that she was doing paid off for her. And I didn't have to pay much from my pocket. I just had to, I think in total for both my dad and my mom, I spent only like 6K for the entire thing.
Oh, for airlifting her and everything.
The rest
Oh,
of the
wow.
things was on my points. So, yeah.
Wow, great. And this was an HDFC Infinia card.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was back in, do you remember the year?
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
So you were at Axis Bank.
Yes.
But you used this concierge service on HDFC card. So,
I was doing my market survey.
oh wow. Okay. Were you working at Axis also on a similar service?
Yes, we were. We were building out the concierge services for the high-end cards as well over there.
Okay.
So you'll see some of those benefits there on the Club Vistara card too.
Oh wow. So your personal experience helped with designing better cards too then.
I would like to believe so, yes.
No, definitely. Great experience and very unique to be honest. I haven't heard of someone, at least till date, this was my first time when I heard that someone used their card to, in an emergency, to airlift a relative. That's really nice. You said it just cost you 6,000 rupees airlifting your mom. Do you have any idea how much it would have normally cost if you did not have concierge and reward points?
This was back in 2019. I'm sure the prices have jacked up since then.
Right.
But at that time, it was around 86,000.
Oh my God. Wow. So you saved 80,000
Yeah.
rupees just by using your credit card. Wow. Wow. Great. Cool. So, Kumalika, let's do a rapid fire now. I'll ask you some questions. Try and answer in one word or a line and as fast as you can.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So, how many cards do you have?
Only 2 now.
Okay. How much do you spend on your credit cards in a year?
in a year, okay, that's around, I've reduced it to 6 lakhs now, I'm being very conscious, but
Okay.
it was up to around 20 till last year.
Oh wow. Okay. Any idea what's the value of rewards that you get on your cards by spending this much?
It's typically around a 20%.
Oh wow, great. What's your favorite card?
Right now, I think it has to be the Flipkart card. I just spend online too much.
Okay. Do you have a dream card?
Yes, the Magnus or the Reserve, maybe. I'm not yet sure which one.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Komalika, the entire process, the entire journey of getting a card, using it, redeeming reward points, etc., it's complicated for a lot of users, right? From a user's point of view, there are certain gaps in the experience that can be addressed. Are you aware of some, or as a user, do you think there are something that the banks can do better, maybe?
I think there definitely are, because different card segments have different kind of reward points. So recently on Twitter, I saw this gentleman who said he had 70 cards
Okay.
because
Yeah.
he didn't have one card that gave him all the rewards.
Right.
So I think one thing and this was something we tried out at Axis as well. What if we could allow people to customize the segments that they want to be rewarded for?
Acha. Okay.
So that's also something that, it's been something that's conceptual but not there, where you give the entire power back to the user.
Right.
You want cashback, then you decide which kind of partners you want cashbacks on.
Okay.
You want X reward points on, the weekends that you spend on.
Right.
You decide that. And so that kind of a flexibility, of course, you have to, as a bank, think of profits at the end of the day.
Right.
But I think somewhere, at least on where I earn my rewards and where I'm getting a cashback from, that level of flexibility should be there. Otherwise, having 70 cards, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, true. Komalika, it's been really great talking to you and learning about all your experiences with banks and designing some of the cards that we love. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us and for being a guest on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
तो ये थी कोमोलिका और हमें बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला इनसे. मैं आपसे मिलूंगा अगले एपिसोड में और बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग इन्फॉर्मेशन लेके क्रेडिट कार्ड की दुनिया से. तब तक के लिए थैंक यू.